New Big Ten program, Oregon, Dan Lanning. He's one of our favorite coaches in the country. We were last year when the Mel Tucker saga was happening. You and I were both like, throw as much of Ishbia's money as we can at Dan Lanning. That was the plan. And it didn't happen because Dan Lanning is smart, and we underestimated the fact that Nike has more money than Matt Ishbia does. So anyways, this is one of our favorite coaches in the country. We think Oregon's going to be great this year. They're probably going to be a powerhouse under Lanning for the foreseeable future. Dan Lanning went on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and threw a little jab. Just a little jab. Yeah, one of the pows. He came at Kirby Smart a little bit. Now, it is important to note Kirby Smart came at Dan Lanning first. But the exact quote from the Pat McAfee show yesterday was, I think it's impressive that guys like Kirby Smart have been signing the #1 class in the nation without any NIL money. Couple yucks from there. Yeah, Kirby was throwing jabs at Oregon's only doing this because they have money, blah, blah, blah. That was the in between the lines. Dan Lanning took exception to it and made it known that everybody has money. What Oregon's doing is special. Do you like this from Dan Lanning?
Yeah, I do love it. You want to know why I love it? Because I love it for the rest of the quote that we got, which is this. The reality is, find a top 10 team in college football right now that doesn't have great support. Do we have a lot more than everybody else? I think that'd be an exaggeration, or we never lose. Everyone else right now is focused on our ice cream cone. And if I'm busy looking at theirs, that means mine is melting. Ugh. Real bars.
That shit's special.
Dog, that should be my coach. Man.
Yeah, everybody else in the Big Ten is just like running around looking at Kurt Signetti's resume. And Dan Lanning's talking about ice cream cones.
Dan Lanning's talking about ice cream cones. Kurt Zanetti's throwing his resume at people. Sean Foster's not even talking. What is this conference, man?
We got to go to Big Ten football media days next year. Also, the injection of the Pac-12 schools into the Big Ten, best thing that's happened in decades.
So you're in on realignment now.
Yeah, I'm all the way. Let's realign again. Let's do more. Let's get Minnesota out of here. Bring me like Arizona or some shit. This would be fun. No, I like Dan Lanning because in my opinion, he has already backed shit up. I don't like people who talk and get feisty that don't back it up. Dan Lanning had the infamous bar against Dion last year against Colorado that was, basically like, let them check their social media or whatever. Let's go kick their ass. And they did. And now Dan Lanning needs to prove he can win the biggest games, because when Oregon went up against Washington last year, they folded like me when I play poker against like online players that are really good, and I'm just scared. I'm sitting there like, God, this moment's too big for me. I wish I was playing with my brother-in-laws who don't know how to play Texas Hold'em. I am a little concerned that that's sort of the deal here. Like, Oregon's always going to be like the 10 to 11 win team that can't get through the big boy. But doesn't matter. As far as these quotes go, doesn't matter to me, because Dan Lanning has proven he's the head coach of one of the best programs in the sport. It's firing on all cylinders right now. And I think, straight up, is there a coach in the country you'd rather play for than Dan Lanning right now? Like, if you're a recruit, other than like, if say the Dion world, there's a section that's going to want to play for Dion, but like,
Yeah, I don't think I think Oregon has the greatest combination right now of just like everything that goes into recruiting, coaching, gear, Nike, facilities. Like, I can't remember the last time we talked about it, like in basketball terms or something like that, like showing up to a facility or showing up on a campus. Like, how as a recruit do you go there and be like, nah, I don't want to play here? And that's before they even start writing checks to you too.
yeah, it's weird. But like, it's an interesting time. It's kind of like college basketball, where some of the legends have left the game. Like, Nick Saban's gone, Jim Harbaugh's gone. I think, with all due respect, given the way last season ended, the direction of the sport would still run through those two guys if they were still here. And now they're gone. And so Kirby Smart and Dan Lanning kind of seems like we're having a little pissing match over who the sport runs through now. Ryan Day, obviously the sport could run through him, but to be honest with you, I think people have kind of sniffed out that Ryan Day is a cornball. And until he beats his rival, I don't think people fear him the way that you would other guys. So the door is open to me. And to me, this is an L for Kirby Smart, not just because like Dan Lanning got the better of him and they're back and forth. But if I'm Kirby Smart, I'm taking some shots at Bama. I'm not taking some shots at Oregon across the country in a different conference. Like, the big dog on your block just left. You should be running the SEC now. And if anything, you should be taking shots at Kalen DeBoer to let him know he ain't touching you. But we're worried about Oregon? Worried about Dan Lanning? Like,
Wait, no, even
why?
worse. You're worried about the coach that DeBoer packed up.
Yeah, it's interesting. It feels a little like misguided here from Georgia and from Kirby. But
Just a wee bit.
Dan Lanning got the win, which he's going to get a lot of head-to-head wins if people keep going at him. Honestly, we need Dan Lanning, Kurt Signetti with a quickness.
Look, wait, no. Do they play this year?
I don't know. Let's check. If they do,
Can we go?
I think they're hanging 90 if they do.
If it's in Bloomington, we're for sure going.
Hold on. Oregon football schedule. They got a great schedule this year. Boise State. No Indiana. Signetti's so lucky.
Cincinnati's
Got Michigan, Michigan State, Illinois, though. And Ohio State. God, I love the Big Ten now. This is so fun. Car, you know what I love about you?
That I'm handsome?
You're reliable. I can count on you. You know, honestly, you remind me of Aaron Henry a little bit. Remember when, like, you know, their back was against the wall, nothing was going right, and man just showed up every day. He didn't make excuses. There were no problems. There were just solutions.
Sounds like me.
That's you. And it also reminds me of Duncan Mechanical Solutions, because if you're looking for quality furnace repair, look no further than the heating and air experts that you can trust. Comfort and quality are their standard. They're an HVAC company that serves Northeast Indiana and Southern Michigan, whether it's heating and air conditioning, plumbing, kitchen and bath remodeling, or emergency services when you need them most. Duncan Mechanical Solutions has reliable service that you can count on. Cart, remember when your basement almost exploded?
I remember when my basement almost exploded. I remember when my furnace itself was acting funny. I remember when my AC was acting funny. I wish I had Duncan in my back pocket. I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been anywhere in northern Indiana or southern Michigan that hasn't been perfectly cool or perfectly warm, depending on when the day called for. And that's because of Duncan Mechanical Solutions. They are the presenting sponsor for the month of July. Shout out to Duncan Mechanical Solutions. Go to duncanmechanicalsolutions.com to learn more.